Hello everyone, welcome back to our next video on Introduction to Programming using Scala. In the previous video, we learned how to create, edit, and compile Scala's program using the command prompt. And when we're ending, we said that we are going to use an integrated development environment called the IntelliJ to now try to create, edit, compile, or run our Scala program. And we say that the IntelliJ is all in one IDE. That makes it more efficient and effortless to build and compile and run Scala program. So in this session, we are going to learn how to use it to build our Scala program. So as you already know, if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that video. And we are going to load our IntelliJ. So we have already installed it in other videos. So when it comes to my desktop and I double click on IntelliJ IDE Community Edition, it will load for you. So now here, if it is the first time you're loading, you have to create a project. So inside this bar, you click on project and you go to new project. Then we need to select Scala project. We have Java, Kotlin, Groovy. We are using Scala, so you need to select Scala. And we need to give the project name. So I will give the project name as maybe training. And you need to find the location where you want to store it. So I will just store it under maybe drive C, training. You need to find where you want to store it. The build system, select IntelliJ. Make sure your JDK is selected with the Oracle JDK 22.02, the one we install. Make sure your Scala SDK is also selected. If not, you need to create it. We have done this in the previous videos. Then the rest, leave it. Don't add any sample code. Leave the advanced setting. We have already done this in previous videos. So then you click on create. So now it opens the window for you. So you see your project and the coding area. This is the project window and the coding area. So we are going to explore these interfaces. So our project training provide a storage location where we can have all our Scala programs. Now a project can contain many modules. A module is like a directory within the main project where we can store our files. So for example, if I want to create a module for maybe exercises, I can just right click on the project and say new and say module. So when I click on it, I can also select the Scala, make sure all these ones are selected. Then I can give it maybe exercises. So also make sure you have selected IntelliJ, the Scala SDK, the Java JDK, then say create. So you see that within the project, we have a module called exercise. So inside this exercise, we may create our files. So a module can contain many Scala source files. So therefore, you can have a variety of Scala application within a module. We could have decided to write the program in the main project, but in order to arrange your files very well, you can create modules as folders to hold different applications that you want. So in class, we are going to use modules to structure our files so that I can know that maybe this lecture file, these are exercise files. Now, let's see what we have. So we have the project window that contains our modules and library files. Then we can have our editor. So for example, when I right click on source and say Scala file, I can create a file, then choose object, then maybe give it a name. So we want to create a hello object. So now this our editor. This is where we are going to type our code. We are going to edit our code. We are going to check for errors. Then maybe I will just say main. Now IntelliJ gives you auto completion, so I can type a code and just tap on it to write the model for me. So we have the def main, in which I can just write a simple command, print line, then to bracket say hello world. So now this is my source code. So I can run this program by just clicking on this icon here, this green icon, and click run hello object. Then I can see hello world in this window. The same thing, I can click on this menu, go to run, then say run hello. So there are several ways you can run it. Yeah, okay, so you want to see the menu bar, you just have to click on this icon to have your edit, etc. Okay, IntelliJ also have what you call the ripple that allows you to test your code faster. And we are going to just demonstrate how to use it for now. The ripple, that is REPL, is read, evaluate, print, and loop. You can use it to run your code or to evaluate your code without having to type a whole bunch of source code. So to do that, you can go to Tools, go to Scala, Ripple. Then it will open another window for you. So this is your Ripple window. So here I can type the same command that I type in the source code. Say hello world. When I enter, it gives me the output. I can say 2 plus 2. It evaluates it and store into a variable. So here in class, we'll be using this Ripple window to try to evaluate our code faster and see how it works. Okay. Now let me just close the Ripple interface and let's examine our code in the code window. So in the code, we have object hello, which I'm going to explain. But this main method is very important. Without this main method, our code cannot be executed. So for example, if I delete this, you see, there's no icon for you to click to run because it needs this entry method that allows the code to run. So the main method triggers all activity. It makes the program executable. And it is the application's entry point. So every Scala object or program must have at least one main method. So as minimal, a Scala program must have a single object file containing a method called main, and that will make sure your application can run. A larger application will be split across multiple source files, one of which will contain a main. Without a main, your application will not run. And a simple program may be written within the main alone. So we need to understand that concept. So in here, we have the object hello, and we have our main, and we have written the print line hello world, which means you want to display the hello world. Now take note, we have our file hello. It is saved on our computer. The object is case sensitive. You need to type it as it is. You can write capital O. is supposed to be as it is, all in small letters. So you need to understand that concept. Most keywords in Scala are written in small letters and they are case sensitive. So take note of that also. Now let's look at Scala syntax and layout also. We use braces to hold together a block of section of code. So for example, we have the object, we have this open curly bracket, close curly bracket. Inside it, we have the def main. It also contains open and close. So this is a block of code. So you have print line hello world. Always the block comes in pairs, so you must always have it in pairs. Within a block of code, all the white spaces is ignored by the compiler. Indentation should be applied to make the program structure visible. So when I say indentation, for example, when I type here, say that IntelliJ is preventing me to put the P in the same line as the def. So we don't want you to start writing from here. You need to indent it. That's what they call indentation, to make the program more readable. So automatically when you type IntelliJ or IntelliJ, indent for you. And when you are indenting, assuming IntelliJ is not indenting, you have to use the two-space rule, or you press the tab key, or you can use spacebar twice to indent so that to be consistent. So indentation is very important. Also, many programming languages or instructions are terminated with semicolon. So for example, if I end this, I can say semicolon or print another print line. Welcome, then semicolon. In Scala, this is optional unless there are multiple statements per line. So in Scala, you can decide not to bring it or to bring it. So here I'm bringing the semicolon to terminate it. It will run all right. If I remove the semicolon also, it will run. But assuming I want to put those two statements on the same line as this, then if I don't bring the semicolon, it won't work. So I can bring the semicolon here and this one will work. Yeah, okay, so bringing semicolon, I can put the two print statement on the same line and it will run. Oh yeah, okay, but assuming I remove the semicolon, you see the print line, the second print line automatically changed to red, which means there's a syntax error. So when I run, I'm going to have a syntax error popping up. Oh yeah, okay. But the moment I bring my semicolon, which means I've terminated the first statement, which means the first statement ends here and the next one begins here. That one, when I run it, everything runs. So take note of that. So semicolons that we use to end a statement is optional in Scala unless you are combining multiple statements on the same line. So take note. Also, we use comments. Comments allow developers to document their code for maintenance purpose. So for example, I can say this is just a print hello, or this will, let's say this outputs hello world on the screen. This is a comment. This line will not be executed. So when I run it, you don't see anything, but this one is just guiding you to know what you have written below. and that's what they call comment. What I've done here is called inline comment. I can do a block comment. Block comment is maybe you start with a front slash and a star. So in between this front slash, star, star, front slash, I can type as many comments as I want. So multiple comments. This is block comment. So when I run it, both the inline comment and the block comment does not run. Oh yeah, okay. Because the compiler ignores all comments. They are not executed. So if you want to document your code, explain your code so that later you can understand what you wrote over there, it's better to use comments. So either use the inline comment, which is this one, or the block comment. Now, let's look at one other thing. We are almost 16 minutes. I will close this session soon so that I can continue again. Let's look more into the print statements. So we know that anytime we want to produce an output, we use the print statement. The standard output stream is a channel between the program and its environment. So the print methods or the print line are used to print output on the screen. So for example, I can use print and say print 0.5. I can use print line and say print A. I can use print, say print 20. Now the difference between print and print line is that the print will print and will not jump to the next line. So for example, when I run this, we have 0.5, then it did not move to the next line before printing A. The ln means move to the new line. Okay, so if you want your cursor to move or print the next statement on the next line, then you have to add the ln to it. If not, the print will just print it without moving to the next line. So anytime you want to display an output, we use a print statement. It produces an output onto the screen or onto a different device. So print will print without moving to the next line. Print line will print and move to the next line. So if you want, you see that 0.5 and the A is on the same line. If I add ln, then this time it will move the A to the next line. Okay, so let's pause this video and make sure you understand everything before we move to the next session. We'll come to the next session of this introduction to Scala Programming. So practice this video as we wait for the next video to continue. Thank you very much. If you like this video, click on the subscribe button so that when the new video is uploaded, you get notification. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.